Good morning, everybody. It is Saturday. Jerry's on her way home with Lisa, and all is actually looking well. The only thing I worry about is mom. Right now is the person to worry about because of her mental health. I wish she would follow her doctor's suggestion and go to a psychiatrist. Um, which I finally did. My first actual appointment with a psychiatrist will be Monday the 10th, a week from this coming Monday, basically. And the preliminary exam was high anxiety. I can't speak this morning. High anxiety. There we go. Um, so I'm curious to see what the actual one-on-one with a person, and not a I don't mind talking to people via, you know, screens like this, one-on-one video chat. But sometimes, excuse me, my nose, it's allergy season and my nose is really itchy, and the cough and the sneeze and the runny nose. Gotta love it. Not really. But this morning's little chat, I tried to do one yesterday, but I went off into I followed a different rabbit hole. Um, at least one of you that I can remember off the top of my head asked, excuse me, I'm trying to get my words out. When I go to do my meditation or come in here to relax and calm down, how do I go about it? Especially with my mental issues. What I mean is my hyperactivity, my ADHD, and things of that nature, or just my mind don't want to calm down because oh, you gotta do this, you gotta do this, it's gonna happen, and you're like, oh my goodness, please, just where's that off switch? Unfortunately, there is no off switch. The closest thing to an off switch is just finding a way to calm down. Now, when I was younger, before a lot of my in-depth New Age studies, I would come home from like school or trying to relax so I can go to sleep so I can be awake and whatnot for school. It's back in my late teens, like 11th, 12th grade, thereabouts, um, when things were actually getting rough for me because of certain circumstances, which I don't use a crutch anymore. I just remember, what happened. But I used to come home and put on my earphones for a Discman. Anybody who's grown up in the 70s, 80s, and even 90s know what a Discman was. So I had a CD to go into Discman, and basically what it was an hour's worth of nature sounds. And what the title of the CD was "A Walk Through the Woods," and what it was is an hour long, half hour of daytime sounds, half hour of nighttime sounds. So during the daytime, you'd hear like a hawk, you'd hear crickets, or not crickets, birds, hummingbird, a babbling brook, the sound of different waterfowl, geese and whatnot. And then right as it's going from day to night, you'd hear the sound of a wolf in the background howling. Um, and then you would hear nighttime sounds. And what it was a pond of some sort with the sounds of loons, frogs, crickets, owls, night animals of one form or night that you might come across in the woods. And it was just such a peaceful and relaxing sound, or sounds, and I loved it. As I grew older and moved away and lost the Discman, lost the CD, um, I turned to the white noise machines, and white noise is more irritating to me than sounds like the old fashioned TVs after they go, they in their programming, and all you hear is that staticky noise from, and it reminds me too much of like Poltergeist, where the little girl's in front of the TV and it's all static, and she turns around and they're here. No, thank you. So I never liked just the static noise. I liked the sound of rain on a tin roof, or just rain in general. Rain with the background sound of thunder. Babbling brooks. Ocean sounds, no thank you. For some reason, the ocean sound just didn't appease to me. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm just not an ocean person. But the sound of a babbling brook, or if it's going to be ocean sounds instead of just ocean on a beach, ocean dashing up against rocks or something like that is more appealing than just the waves coming in and going out. No, no. And then, well, I got somebody, sorry if I don't remember everybody sending me stuff. Somebody sent me actually a sound machine that has rain, or rainstorms with thunder and light, or thunder. You don't hear lightning. A babbling brook, and a waterfall. I prefer the sound of the rain out of the three because it's like one of my favorite sounds. I mean, in Arizona during the monsoon season when they had storms, I would open my bedroom window just so I can hear the sound of the rain as I was falling asleep. Now, sometimes I wouldn't do that because sometimes the rain and the winds and whatnot kick up dust and debris and whatnot, and it comes into through your window. And no, thank you. But I have recently found, instead of just going in my room and listening to 5 hours worth of rainstorms, which might put me to sleep, because that's what I put on to help me go to sleep, I found that just coming into a quiet place that has your decorations, your stuff, your personal, like a personal room, a personal retreat in your house type thing. And if you don't have, if for some reason your mind just won't let you calm down, you can either bring like a white noise machine and put on an hour's worth of just, whatever sound that you like. Unfortunately, there's two things in this room that I may get rid of because their sounds don't help me calm down sometimes when I want to, like the ticking of a clock. I think I'm gonna get rid of the analog and try to find a battery operated digital so it doesn't make any ticking noises, because sometimes that tick 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 is annoying. But in my little space here, besides all the things I want in here, excuse me, I need a drink of coffee. Like, I can come in here, turn off the overhead lights, turn on the new light strips and whatnot that I have, and just a gentle phasing from one color to another, or just put like one particular color that is more calming or soothing. You have to pick and choose your colors, because everybody has, some people say that this color represents anger, or this color represents sorrow, or this color no. To me, colors don't always match my mood. Like, yeah, I like the lights when they fade, because they don't stay a steady color. They just change colors. And thankfully, a lot of these light strips are programmable. So if they have, well, I'm going to get you the smaller one, because the bigger one might be more confusing. But on these remotes, you can change how fast they fade. You can even change, set timers. This one is not as programmable as the other one. So let's look at the other one. This one, which I think is for that strip of lights. Let me find out real quick. Yeah, okay. This one actually has 6 DIY. So basically 6 different programmable buttons to change the colors. So you can program the strip lights, not the fairy lights, which is that other set, but the strip lights that I have around my desk and bookcase and door. Um, you can program it, and then you can push auto. Auto basically makes its own decisions. You can change the speed of changing of the coloring. You can make it just flash. There's two different fades and two different jumps. I don't know what jump is. I have never tried to use jump, but it's a program. You can have the little buttons here to program, so you can change colors if you're a visual oriented person, which I am. I'm very visual. Then there's the sound. Sound could be anything that's calming or soothing to you, whether it's a white noise machine or whether it's just something that helps you focus. Now, one of the things I have here to help calm my mind and focus my thoughts is what they call a Tibetan singing bowl. It's basically a brass bowl with a little wooden mallet. You can probably buy this at any metaphysical or new age shop. I got mine off of Amazon. I should say my wife got it for me off of Amazon. But what you do with this is you just, along the edge of the bowl, there we go. I can do that for a few minutes or whatever. And the sound resonates through your whole body. It really does. And it really causes, even though some people might think that the noise is annoying because of the way it sounds, and I don't know if anybody's tried it, but if you just like focus on the sound, it starts to resonate through my body, and it helps like literally just wash via sound, just wash my anxieties away, wash my just anything that could basically cause me some form of mental breakdown or mental blocking. That sound resonates through your whole body, and it literally washes all that away just by sound. Of course, a lot of different groups say that you can use a Tibetan singing bowl, and the sound resonating will literally cause any crystals or anything like that in the area to be cleansed and charged at the same time. Excuse me. I like the old-fashioned tradition when it comes to crystals. Got the hiccup talking too much. But like yoga, if you're into yoga, you have to find a place that is quiet and peaceful with quiet sounds or natural sounds or something to help your body basically just calm down and refocus so you can perform those yoga maneuvers, which I'm not into yoga. I actually wanted at one point in time to take Tai Chi because just Tai Chi, the movements and the focus of your body and energy is, to me, seems very fluent. Like literally the movements and whatnot flows like water. But I never got around to doing that. Tai Chi is actually good for those who have certain kinds of joint problems or pain problems because it's not hardcore. It's like yoga, slow movements of your body, your mind, and they say your spirit. I don't know. I've never tried it. But anything you can do that will help calm your mind and refocus your energies and bring your body and mind to peace, try it. Don't be afraid to try new things. I know a lot of people are like, well, if you're a Christian, you're not going to do that because that's not the way of the Christian. That's not something Jesus talked about. Well, as I've said many a times, if it's good and it brings goodness to you, and it helps bring goodness to others, I don't think Jesus would disapprove. Now, there would be a lot of people out there going, no, if it's not in the Bible, it's not approved. Well, that's something I'll talk about another day, probably pretty soon, because I have a book on order from, never mind. I have a book from Amazon that talks about different chapters and verses that were removed from the Bible, and this was written by a bunch of different theologians and scholars that focus primarily on biblical history. So that's something I'll talk about a different day. But no, if there's many different ways. I mean, you can even, there are certain apps that you can download for both Amazon, or not Amazon, for iPhone and Android phones, and you might want to look into them. I had one or two of them that just didn't cut it for me. The one thing that I did find, and I think it's fairly peaceful. It's actually an app for Japanese culture. And I don't mean modern day culture with all the anime and all that. I mean like the old school Shinto practices. But I found the sound in there that I don't know why it seems peaceful to me, but it does. It's one of these Japanese fountain type sounds, and basically what it is there's like a water coming down into this little cup with an armature and a little knob at the end that's wood with a wooden block underneath it. So when the armature fills with the water, it goes to dump it, and then it comes back down, and it makes a wood against wood type knocking sound. It's not harsh, but you get the sound of the water flowing. You get the sound of this gentle wood on wood clank sound. I don't even know how to describe it, but for some reason that sound always was, it's like, oh, this sound is actually kind of peaceful. The Japanese culture has a very interesting. If you've ever read any books on feng shui and Japanese water gardens or things of that nature, you'd be interesting to find out how the Japanese culture of old and the way they build buildings and their Zen, what they call Zen Gardens. There's 3 different types of Zen Gardens. The 2 that I know about is the water garden, which has that wooden thing I just talked about, and the other one is the Japanese sand garden, where every day you clean it, basically smooth out the sand, and then you take this little wooden rake, and it's like 4 or 5 prong, and you just make designs in the sand depending on a lot of different things. The third one is, no, I actually do know the third one. The third one is Tai Chi. Now I don't know if it's Japanese or Chinese, but I know the Japanese culture of old practice a form of Tai Chi. So there's a lot of different ways to get yourself to calm down and get your mind cleared out, refocus your energy so you can focus on a project or a task, or maybe you're writing something, writing a book or notes or a diary or whatnot, and you need your mind to focus on that. It's combination of your preference, what you like that you feel is soothing other than sleep. I know some people are going to be like, yeah, sleep is soothing, let's go to sleep. No. Unfortunately, sleep is only soothing if your mind is willing to let you sleep. I've had those days. Last night I was so caught up in thinking about things I need to get done today, which I need to start really soon. It is difficult to sleep if your mind is just weighed down by things that you're worried about, or things that you couldn't accomplish during the daytime, and you realize you have to do it the next day. I I'm I'm not retired. I work, so I know how difficult it can be for the working person to come home and have to deal with home and feel like they don't have time to sit down and relax and calm themselves. It's, you know, I would not be surprised if I get diagnosed with some form of bipolarism just because of how things are with me. That I can be a calm, cool person, and then the wrong thing is said or done, and I snap. You know, I mean, I can't run home from work every half hour to an hour just to meditate and relax and go back to work, and can't really do that. I have to find a way to maintain my calm at work, which sometimes is easy, sometimes it's not. It depends on people around me and my environment, and is my anxiety going crazy because there's too many people around me at once. You know, things like that. So it is what it is, and I try my best to stay calm throughout my day, knowing that, especially when on the days I work, knowing that when I come home, I can. Right now, Jerry's not here, so I can't cuddle with Jerry, but I, come in here and just do my, calming routines. So, but anyhow, that's that's how I do that. The rest of this video, is going to be just hopefully not too long. As I said, I think I said it earlier. I don't know. Jerry is on her way back from Texas with Lisa. What happens beyond that is I'm not going to talk about it until I know the full 411. But there's been a lot of talk around the house about things changing and my mom and her mental health issues. I'm not sure. I'm not sure 100% how to deal with it. It's a new thing. I always felt that my parents, until my father passed away, would be, would live into their old age. Unfortunately, my dad's generation of Hensons, most of them passed away at an early age, 40, late 40s, early 50s. My generation of Hensons, my cousin up in Washington is got to be in his 70s by now. He was the oldest of his siblings, and he was born in he's over 50 because he was born in like 66, 67, something like that. So I know that if he can live that old, I can live that old because, whatever it is, and whether it's a family curse, which I don't really believe in, or just nature, I don't know. But according to my information, the Hensons, like one generation will pass away early, and the next generation will live to be a ripe old age, 80s. My cousin Matthew is a prime example. And then like the generation after mine, may or may not be so lucky. I don't know, but I think it's a combination of health and doing all the right things. I mean, my cousin Matthew is a prime example. He's healthy as an ox, but he smokes pipe tobacco, or at least he used to. I don't know if he does anymore. But he retired from the Navy in late 90s, I think it was. Late 90s, early 20s, early 2020s. And he's gallivanting around the country, going to Renaissance fairs or affairs of one form or another, teaching people mead making and woodworking in his 70s. And I'm like, dude, tell me your secret. Teach me. Not only teach me your secret of how you're doing so well, but teach me your secrets of making mead, which I don't think my wife would want me to do. Even though I could probably make a good profit. But today I've got two major projects. Well, they're not really major. I got 2 to 3 projects plus the usual weekend house chore of doing laundry. Tomorrow I have no idea what's going to happen because Jerry might be so wiped out that she'll just want to sleep all day, which I don't blame her. I won't let her because that's not good for her health. At least, not to sleep all day. But I can understand if she doesn't want to get up and do anything. The week ahead, I have 3 days worth of work. Because Thursday, Friday is, it's going to be a 4-day weekend as our autumn break, basically, before not New Year's, before Thanksgiving. Then we have Thanksgiving break and then winter break, and then back to doing the same thing. And then after winter break, the next break will be spring break, and then after spring break, there's no breaks. I don't think there's any extended weekends. My birthday falls on a Friday this year, and I'm half tempted to ask for that day off. The one thing that Jerry told me is it made me think, I'm not going to talk about it, but Jerry's got a couple of appointments that she says I won't have to worry about. Let's just put it this way. If she's not going to have to worry about me taking work off to get her to and from her appointments, that means either A, she's made them for afternoon after I get off work, or because basically she was saying I won't have to worry about taking any days off, which is fine. I do enjoy being able to get out of the house to go to work and do something worthwhile. Unlike the summertime where it was just like, trying to find a different job and whatever. We're good. That's all I can say. It's confusing at times because it's like, okay. Couldn't tell what kind of bird it was, but it was loud. I think it was a crow or a jay. It sounded more like a blue jay. But life around here has gotten, I don't want to say chaotic, because it's not really chaotic. It's like a balancing act. You're trying to do what's right for yourself and for your family, but at the same time, you're trying to keep yourself from being imbalanced, because if you get too imbalanced, things go awry. And I'm realizing that now, because now that Jerry is pretty much doing well for herself, and she can do a lot of things for herself now. I'm starting to focus on myself, and as I'm focusing more on myself, I'm finding balance to my life. And I don't mean I'm focusing totally and utterly on myself, like, do your own thing, Jerry, get up and, do your own stuff and whatnot. It's more like, she knows I'm trying to get better. She knows I'm trying to find balance and focus. So she tries not to bug me, a lot. But at the same time, I'm trying to find a balance between, and it's a 3-way balance, which is kind of difficult to do sometimes. But I'm trying to find a balance between myself, my home life, and my job. Because if I can't find some sort of balance between the 3 of them, I tend to get a little angst, a little, and I cannot wait. Literally, I cannot wait until I can get this room 100% done. And I know some people in the background who aren't going to come forward and say anything are thinking to themselves, oh, he'll never get it done because his wife is always having him put stuff in there. Or, no. One of the things that's going to happen is when we have Jerry wants to have a family meeting sometime Monday evening or something like that, or soon, to, talk about everything that's going on in the house and then some. And I already want to put my foot down and say, look, I don't care how I do it. I'm gonna get my personal space done. And once it's done, it's not gonna have anything that does not belong, anything I don't want in here. No more, oh, you've got room in your office space. Store it in there until we can figure out what to do. No. You figure out what to do with it now, or I'm going to put it where I believe it belongs, whether it's in the craft room or the garbage or wherever. Because I am done with, moving shit around. I'm tired of it. I'm like, this stuff goes there, this stuff goes there, this stuff goes out in the shed, this stuff goes in the craft room. Once it's cleared out, ain't nothing being stored in here unless I want it in here. Because I'm just tired of living like a clutter bug. But that's one of the reasons why I'm like, I have in my Amazon wish list, and no, I'm not going to tell you what it is exactly, but there are items that I want to purchase to put in here to help me store some of the stuff that's mine. But I'm also thinking that maybe I don't want to do that. Maybe I just want to look at what it is and decide if I want to keep it or give it away. Because if I ain't got a place for it and it's not extremely important, then why do I have it? It's what I'm trying to get Jerry to realize. If you have so much stuff that you need to purchase more storage space or storage items, or can't find a home for it, then you need to decide that if it's important, what can you get rid of? And if it's not important, do you really need it? And her thing is she's always looking towards the future. And I'm like, no. This is what happens when you look towards the future. You start getting stuff that you really don't need. You don't know if you're ever going to use it. And then by the time you think you're going to be able to spend or have the time or have the stuff to use it with, you're too old to do it, or you're too broken to do it, and you end up giving it away or getting rid of it anyhow. So, I'd rather have the money to go purchase it when I need it than have the money purchase it and never need it. That's just my thinking. But that was also the way I was raised. So, yeah. Anyhow. Before I start jumping down any other rabbit holes and making this video an hour-long video, I'm going to start signing off. But yeah, if you like this video, you can give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, I'm sorry. I am me, and I speak my brain. And if people don't understand it, well, I would rather them ask me questions to get a better understanding than just go off angry or mad or confused or whatnot. But if you decide to put a thumbs down, that's your decision. I don't try to tell you otherwise. If you have any questions or comments about this video, go ahead and put it in the question comment box. If it's something I need to answer, I will either try to answer it via the comments, or I will write it down so I can talk about it. If it's a comment or question that is non-helpful or just downright unwanted, or unnecessary, more unnecessary than unwanted, your comment may or may not disappear. If I need any clarification about your comment, I may ask you to clarify. I'd rather do that than just delete your comment, because maybe somebody else will see your comment and be able to clarify it for me, or clarify my video for me. There are a couple people who know me well enough, or know my persona well enough, to make that, reply. And one of the things I will not tolerate is bickering amongst the people. There's no reason for it. And if somebody does answer your question for me because they know well enough, I will inform you that that answer that person put out there is correct. If not, I will try to correct the whole situation. I don't need arguing amongst people. I don't need negative environments. They're just a waste of time and energy. I have learned through my own, lifetime, that all the negative energy that I once had was what was keeping me from going forward, what was making me tired, what was making me just feel like ick, because it was just too much negativity, and the living on negative energy, just not good for the mind, not good for the body, not good for the spirit. It's just useless, parasitic energy. But yeah, go ahead and make your comments. I will try to deal with them as best as I can. I accept constructive criticism. I accept any kind of comments or whatnot that is going to help me grow. And I think that's one of the biggest things we need to do, is not to cause negativity, but to help a person grow. I know your idea and my idea of helping out is two different things, but we'll work together. That's part of life, is helping each other out. If you're new to my channel and enjoyed or was inspired, or you're inquisitive about me and my ways of doing things that may or may not help you, it is your choice to join my channel to hear me out. Maybe we can grow together. Maybe you're a like-minded person and are interested in some of the things I'm talking about, or I have talked about. Whatever. It is your choice to hit that subscribe button, and once you do, a little bell will pop up, and you click on that bell, and YouTube will let you know when I put out a new video. So until next time, you guys have a good day. Enjoy. Bye.